Not really.
Can I share mine?
Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
All right. I hold on, give me 1 second. Where's the recording? Okay. I am Patrick. I have about 4 years of experience as Oracle database. I hold an associate degree in computer application and currently working to earn my bachelor degree in information system management. I also hold a couple of certificates, which include OCA, AWS, and SQL Fundamental. Before becoming a DBA, I worked in the transportation industry as a bus operator for 13 years. A good friend of mine, who at the time worked in the IT industry, in the IT field as a DBA, referred me to Rontech School, where I can be trained to become a DBA too, which I did. As a DBA, I've installed 11G and 12C software. I installed this databases in those software and upgraded those software as well. I apply patches, to those software and upgraded the database from 11G to 12C. I've also performed additional tasks, which include performance tuning to help run those database more efficiently and to respond in a faster way using queries. I use AWR report to help troubleshooting when database went slow. I also use Enterprise Manager to monitor and to monitor those databases. I created table and indexes. I was also involved in a variety of projects, which includes DataGuard, where I created physical database and standby database for disaster recovery and data availability. I was also involved in the Golden Gate project, where I created the source database and the target database for the data replication, as well as schema replication to ensure data availability. And finally, I was involved in RAC project. I created 2 nodes. I configured rack installation where I was able to, during the configuration, I create this group. I install the grid infrastructure, I install ASM, as well installing software, and finally created a database in rack during that rack project. I have the willingness and the ability to learn from others. I work well with other people too, and I like share ideas. I communicate well with others. In fact, during my past experience as a bus operator, I used to train new employees. I'm a proactive person. I multitask and I pay attention to detail. I like spend time with my family, clean around the house, and do some laundry on my spare time. That's all.
Okay, all right. Okay. 4 years of DBA experience, and you said you are, when you say, you tell anybody that you are currently taking classes to get your bachelor's, it usually brings up the question, like, which will be like, when will you finish? So you will just say you are a candidate of 2021, 2022, 2020. You understand? When are you scheduled to finish? So you want to, if you are going to mention that you are in school, you must tell us, everything being equal and candidate for, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Or tell us when you finish. So it's a candidate for 2021 or for June or for May 2022. Okay. You say you have certifications, the OCA and the AWS, right? So SQL Fundamental is not a certificate, it's just a prerequisite. So it's not a certificate actually. Does that make sense? So if I remember, you can mention the Oracle certified as well as AWS certified. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And when you see your AWS, give us the specific of what you're specified in. Are you following? Solutions architect or something?
Oh,
the title to the certification.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then you can say prior to your database administration career, you worked in the transportation industry or something of that sort. I think you said something on that nature, right?
Yes.
What was, just say that again, let me see how I can fit put it.
Okay, before becoming a DBA, I worked in the transportation industry as a bus operator for 13 years.
As a bus operator, okay.
And a good friend of mine who at the time worked in the IT field as a DBA referred me to Brontech School, where I can.
No, they not refer you to school. They introduce you to the career. You got yourself registered, and you took classes. Or you took classes and then became a DBA. Brontech will have to stand as your potential employer, so there is no Brontech School. All right?
Oh, okay. So let me ask you a question, Bob. But like if someone, like you said, how did I transition from that old job to become a DBA?
Your transition here, I think you are referring, you said a good friend of yours.
Okay.
That's what you're saying. That's the beginning of your transition. Somebody introduced who is I have a good friend who's a DBA.
Okay.
Introduced me to the career because he loved and he whatever, he liked it so much, he loved it so much, whatever it is. But that's the thing, he introduced you to you. Then you went and fed and got schools, took classes, got yourself certified and landed a job.
Okay.
All right, that's how it goes.
Right.
But it is a good way because for people, it's a friend, it's a relative, I don't have any problem with any of that. Saying someone introduced you to the career and then you went ahead and took courses, got yourself certified and landed a job. Because that's how most people become IT professionals. They're not from IT background, like we said in the last class. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. A good friend of yours, okay, introduced you to the career where you took classes, got yourself, got certified, and landed a job. Maybe, got lucky to get a job as a junior DBA. And then you've been working for 5 years now, which makes you a mid-tier or mid-level DBA. All right. Okay, continue. Let's hear.
Say that again.
So if you can continue.
Oh, should I continue reading?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so as a DBA, I've installed 11G and 12C software. I've applied patches to those software, and I also created database in 11G and upgraded those databases to 12C. I also
your installation and configuration, your patches, and your upgrades come under the same line, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Continue. Let's hear again.
I've also performed additional tasks, which include performance tuning to help those databases run more efficiently and to respond in the faster ways using queries.
All of that says one thing: I've done performance tuning. I've not heard anything else that you have said, which is to help the database. That person who knows what performance tuning is.
Right.
So you don't have to be defining it.
Okay.
Then I'm waiting to hear things under performance tuning, and I'm not hearing, which helps the database to run in a better way. They're just words. In fact, that's just wasting the time where you could have been saying things that the person wants to hear. All right, keep going. I'm waiting. Under performance tuning I've heard, but I've not heard anything else.
I use AWR report for troubleshooting.
All right, I've had AWR under performance tuning, that's all. Keep going.
I use Enterprise Manager to monitor those databases.
So you have left now performance tuning, you have now gotten into database monitoring. But under performance tuning, you gave me one word, AWR. I'm just pointing it out, all right? Okay, OEM for monitoring. Okay,
I created indexes and
so you have left performance tuning, go to monitoring. Now you are creating indexes back to performance tuning. They're not together. Now this person is confused. What are you talking about? Keep going.
I was also involved in a variety of projects, which include DataGuard.
Configuring things on the DataGuard is more than likely not a project. Project is what comes from the application. You do work on behalf of the application. Can you take the DataGuard, configuring DataGuard as a project? Yeah, it's a small project. You can call it anything. Or what is a project? As I said, a project is what has a start date and an end date. It's usually at the application level. If you want to configure DataGuard, it's not something like it's a project. It's something that you're going to just do.
So what do I call this? If I name it, if I want to name it, like how should I introduce this then?
Well, I've done some high availability solutions such as DataGuard. I've configured DataGuard. It's a configuration. That's all it is.
Okay.
This database level is not DBA focused. It's application driven. You can call it a project, but normally we will not. The school calls it a project, so I know that it's a school project. But you're working, it is moving things through the application. Those are called projects.
So basically,
if you want to configure DataGuard for one of your applications, you're just configuring DataGuard for your application.
Okay. So and then Golden Gate, is it applied to as
It's the same thing. These are all database configurations. Your databases are not database driven. If they want Golden Gate because they want some form of replication, your boss can say, okay, can we try to see if we can have DataGate on that thing? But it's not as if they're going to have a project manager, a project sponsor, a project this, a project that, a project that. We're not going to do that. They can't, I mean, you can do that, but more than likely not. It is when the application wants to upgrade from PeopleSoft 8.9 to PeopleSoft 9.0, hell will break loose. That will be a project. Many developers will come from, they will hire many people to come and do that configuration, and you will be part of that project. That is what a real project or a company's real project will be. If you want to configure that, guys, you want to configure rack, go and install it. But we will not see what a project sponsor is. A project, this is a project that the testing phase and so on. All these are things that you can do, what you have to do. But when it involves the application, work is driven through by the system development life cycle. Is this thing in development and we need to move it across? Okay, then we'll move it to dev. Then want to move it to test and so on, move it to test. An application upgrade, a module upgrade, so all of those things. That's what we call project work, project support. In project support, you support developers, testers, and analysts. But if you are doing data guide, it is you who's just implementing it. Just like when you want to do an upgrade, you do an upgrade, most of the time, they are testing to see if anything that you've done with the upgrade does not affect the system.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
then,
you talk about data guide.
Say that again.
We're talking about data guide.
Yes. So I configured data guide where I created a physical database and a standby database for disaster recovery and for data availability.
All right, I'll present it very differently. Okay, what's next?
And then I also configure Golden Gate, where I created a source database and the target database for data.
You are representing these things very wrong, very incorrectly. If you want to talk about data guide, you must tell me, why did you configure data guide? I configured data guide for what? Maximum protection. I configured data guide for what? Maximum performance. Because those are that's why you configure data guide. You don't tell me what you did. I configured the primary and the secondary. Just tell me about yourself for maximum protection and for maximum this. I configure Golden Gate for what? Multi and bi-relation. You understand what I mean, right? Bi-directional replication. That's what Golden Gate is used for. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Well, now you're talking about telling me about yourself. It's not going into the details of telling me about data guide and so on. At a very superficial level, why was it I did it for maximum availability, maximum protection, and for maximum performance? All right. Anyway, I'll give you a template on how to answer these ones, but you need to put a lot more information on it, especially technically. All right.
Especially on performance tuning, right?
Everything. Nothing technical came here. I didn't say anything on security. I didn't say anything. So many things that are not there. Again, I said I'll give you a template.
All right, Prof.
All right, next person, please.
Yeah, can I try, Prof? Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Natu Betting. I am a certified Oracle database administrator with over a year of working experience. During my career as a DBA, I have managed databases ranges from 200 gigabytes to 2 terabytes, spread across multiple operating systems such as Linux and Windows. I have also used tools as OEM, SQL Plus, SQL Developer to manage my database and also designing applications like Oracle and SQL Server. I have installed and configured 11G, 12C manually using script and the grid interface. I've also applied CPU and PSA patches for security reasons and for bug fixing on 11G. I have used all patch utilities for patching my database. I have also performed some upgrade by upgrading the database from 11.201 to 11.203 and from 11.203 to 12.201. I did it using manual script that is manually and using DBUA. as a database upgrade assistant. I have created and managed table spaces. Performance tuning has been part of my daily activity, where I have tuned at the level of network, database, and application using tools like AWR, ASH, ADDM, SPM Plans, SQL Tunes Advisor, OEM, just to name a few. To monitor my database, I have used OEM and auditing such as fine-grained auditing, value-based auditing. Security is also one of my daily activities, where I created and managed user, grant and revoke privilege when required. I have also implemented TDE, network encryption, database reduction for advanced security measures. I have done backups and recovery where I use Arman backup, data pump for logical backup, physical backup, user managed backup. I've also scheduled some backup using Cronta, and I have cloned database using Arman and some script. That is basically all about my professional career. As myself, I've had the opportunity, oh no, sorry, sir, I didn't finish. I've had the opportunity to work on different configuration as part of the team. And myself, as a team, we successfully configured data guide for high availability, maximum performance, and disaster recovery, as well as Golden Gate for integration and real-time data replication across a heterogeneous platform. I personally successfully configured RAC, Real Application Cluster 2 nodes for high availability and scalability, disaster recovery. I have performed migration from prompt to dev to refresh lower environment. What I can say for myself is that I am a proactive person and fast learner, very social and understanding. I am comfortable working by myself and as part of a team. I'm open-minded, open to change and multitasking. I pay attention to detail and I have good documentation skill. That's what I have for the first part.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you had many things, but there's a lot of mixture. You're mentioning technologies, but the description is not correct. You're telling me what a tool is used for monitoring. How can you monitor using, what was that?
Oh yeah.
Fine-grained auditing and value, and yes, fine-grained auditing and value-based auditing or something like that sort. So, like I said, whatever you're saying, you're not following it up with whatever you are describing. All right. So start over again. Just go ahead. Let me be stopping you.
From where? From the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Natubeni. I'm a certified Oracle database administrator with over a year of working experience. During my career as a DBA, I have managed databases ranging from 200 gigabytes to 2 terabytes, spread across multiple operating systems such as Linux, Windows. I have also used tools as OEM, SQL Plus, SQL Developer to manage my database, and also resigning applications like Oracle and SQL Server.
And also what?
Resigning applications.
Resigning, what does that mean? Resigning applications such as, read that statement again. I'm curious what you want to say.
I have also used tools as OEM, SQL Plus, SQL.
No, before that one, you said something. I think you talk about monitoring. I'm not sure.
No.
Across different operating system platforms, I've understood that.
Yeah.
Is what?
That I've also used tools as OEM, SQL Plus, SQL Developer to manage my databases.
Okay, so I want to hear that one. You've used tools such as OEM, SQL Plus, and SQL Developer to manage your databases, correct?
Yes.
Full stop. What is the next sentence?
I have installed 11G, 12C using manuscript and Greek interface.
You have installed Oracle databases right?
I have install and configure
Okay. Mm-hmm.
11G and 12C SADA software using manual script.
Install and configure 11G and
12C
and 12C.
using manual script and a grid interface.
And the grid interface for installation. How did you install 11G and 12C databases?
No, I think that's for software. I don't think it's database. I think I was talking about softwares.
Okay, we're going to go here, the installation and configuration. You've installed the Oracle 11G and 12G software, right?
Yes, sir.
Using
manual scripts, and grid interface.
You install. How do you install this the Oracle database software? I'm curious. The Oracle database software. Okay, let me ask you a question. Where do you install the Oracle database software? I want you to say my Oracle home. Yes. What is your Oracle home? It's a directory that you have created, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell me what you want to say. Because that is what I am. I don't know what you're saying. You know, but tell me what you want to say. Let me see if anybody else understands it, let me know, because I do not understand what you're saying, that you're saying wanted to install these interfaces.
Now I'm confused. Should I use install and configure databases? Should I say install and configure databases on 11G and 12C using manual script and DBCA?
No, DBCA is to configure a database.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Installing, but when you install with OUI, right? Oracle Universal Installer, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to see, because you were saying different things. That's why I do not understand if you are talking about the installation that I taught you or that I know. So my thing is that why are you saying something that, what do you want to do? Tell us, okay, you tell us, what do you want to say? Or you want to say install, right? Or configure, install and configure databases, right? Using what? Oracle Universal Installer and what? And DBCA and manual scripts. You can create, because you can create databases which is using DBCA or manual scripts, but you install using what? How does Oracle deliver its solution for you? It's not. Is it not? Don't we install using the OUI?
OUI.
Oracle Universal Installer.
Oh.
But that is the thing. I'm not sure what you want to say. You tell me what you want to say. Let me tell you how to put it in such a way that an average person will understand it.
Okay, so I was talking about how you know how we install the software like 11G. Mm-hmm. See, that's basically what I was trying to express.
And how do you do that? How did you install it now? Let me know. I mean, I gave you a clean server and I said you should install the Oracle database in it. What was your steps? Tell me how you install it. I'm missing something.
I gotta refresh.
No, anybody else, tell people to help work with you. Let them help you now. Guys, how do we do the installation? I want to hear that. How do you install the Oracle software? Let me know the way you did it.
The 11G or 12C.
Mm-hmm.
So you install your prerequisites, you create your directories, you set up your bash profile, then you install the software.
Using what? Don't say then you install. That's our problem with installing. We've heard that those prerequisites. Then you do what?
So you run using run installer.
Run installer.
Okay.
What does run installer call?
Is
When
it
you invoke /run installer, what does it bring up?
oh it brings out the OUI, I think so.
Is it a utility?
Yeah, that utility, the Oracle, I've never pay attention to that name.
Wow. So you have never paid attention to what you use to install the software on your server.
To the name, I've never paid attention to that name. And something.
Somebody launch it and share your screen. Who is launching it?
Okay, let me do it.
Prof, isn't it the Oracle Universal Installer?
It is, that's what she says she doesn't know it and she's not familiar
No,
with
I
it.
didn't say I didn't know it. I didn't. I said I
I've
didn't.
never paid attention to the name. You just
To
said
the
that.
name, I know it's Oracle. That's what I said. I said.
So if you don't know the name of something, how can you know the thing?
We forgot it, Prof.
No, it's not forgetfulness. Come on, I've never paid attention to it. It's not because you've forgotten.
No, I didn't forget. I really never pay attention to it or that.
Straight up, exactly. That's what exactly she's saying. He says, if you ask me what Oracle Universal Installer, I will look at you like, what is that again? I know
It's that interface, but
yes,
like
I've never paid attention to it. So
to the name.
The installation. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like someone says DBUA, and you're saying, what did I use DBUA to do again? I said, when you did upgrade using what? If you don't know what it is, you have never paid attention to it. But that's what you use. That's the tool to install the software. Renata, are you close?
Yes, I am. I mean, I'm just wondering, do you want me to just open
Just
the...
launch the tool, share your screen, and just launch the tool. I just want to see the tool. I said, just launch so that you can see what the tool is.
Okay.
Yeah, open your VNC.
I don't actually use VNC, but I'm gonna...
Do you call it through FoamPody?
Mobile extend.
Bring the tool.
Okay. So you want me to go to the directory, right? Okay. Let me
Yes, go to where the software is.
Okay. CD/. Okay. See.
So, long list, give me a long list of this. Just give me a long list.
Excuse me?
Just give me a long list, LL or LS space minus L.
Okay. A long list?
Wow.
LL.
Wow.
So give me a long list.
Okay.
What do you think LS stands for?
Okay.
All right. We are trying to call run, we are using run installer to call the Oracle Universal Installer, OUI. And OUI is what we're going to use to install the software. So go ahead, execute the run installer. Okay. Is it launching?
No.
No.
Then why don't you just bring up this tool that can run it now? Somebody should bring, I will bring this thing. This one, I'm not sure what you have to export. All right, bring up VNC.
VNC. Okay, I think I have VNC. Hey, God.
What's happening now?
Oh, no.
Move that mouse in the second screen so that I can activate it.
Hmm? Did you ask me to do something?
I said move the mouse on the second screen so you can activate it.
3 seconds.
Close this thing.
This thing. Okay.
Who has VNC? That's working.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can I share
Yeah, we're waiting.
Okay.
Can you allow me to share another?
Okay, Patrick.
Thank you.
Okay, you're good.
All right. There you go. So we are the Oracle user, go to database, good. All right, so list here. All right, so we are going to execute the run installer script, which calls the Oracle Universal Installer. Okay. What environment did you set for this?
11G.
11.
Yeah.
Okay. Cat.bash underscore profile. No, sorry. Just go and let's see what your bash profile is saying, because I'm not sure why we seem to be having the same error.
That's a typo.
No.
That is a batch.
No, you're sourcing the bash profile.
Say that again. Oh.
If you want to catch it, it will be /home/oracle/.bash underscore profile. /home. /home is lowercase. /bash underscore profile. 0.2.0.3. Okay. How many? Okay, just CD enter, then ls CD enter. Ls minus al minus al. And to see the batch profiles that you have. Since I see there are just so many. Scroll up. You have .batch profile underscore 11G. What's the difference between those two?
I think this one is 11.201 and this one is 11.203.
Okay, go to the 201, let's see.
Okay.
Okay, echo oracle underscore home.
Echo.
I think there's a space in between that echo. Yes. Oracle. $sign Oracle underscore home.
Okay. Cat.batch profile, let's make sure that you are on 346. Even 346, the bonus solutions.com. Okay, so we know that we are pointing under, let's say here 11203.
So he cardboard the default one here. He didn't cardboard the underscore 11G.
Exactly, that's the one that we are pointing to.
Okay. I think it's this one. It's not this one.
But you just list, copy and paste.
Say that again.
Just list. Not LL. LS minus AL.
Sorry.
A copy it and then carry. Yeah, that's it. No, the other one down, the one down. Yes.
Okay.
Eleven to 0. Is it 11.2 or 0 or 11.201? Echo Oracle Home, let me see.
Oh. Eleven to 201.
Okay, CD Oracle Home, let me see. Okay, list. No, just minus L. It's fine. Okay, go to that database directory and launch this thing.
Okay.
OUI.
Huh?
go to the database directory where you have run installer.
Okay, so
Okay. You want to change Oracle Home, change it to 12 and see.
so set the batch number to 12.
Yeah, I just need an universal installer to run. Is it on? Is that what is that?
It's on 12.
Then you're going to 11.
Oh.
You're not on 11. You're not going on 11, right? So go to Where did you install the 12 now? You guys have done this before now, so I'm just, I think it's a revision. Where did you get the 12 software? Amongst these three, and this is for everybody. Where did you get the 12 software?
Oracle.
The third one.
Oracle DB. Oracle database.
Why is it new now? This is installation.
Database.
List what is there. You cannot be running things blindly because from later what I'm saying now, nobody even knows what the things are. Then execute.
It's giving me the same error too. I have the same errors.
Exit. I'm not sure what's going
Yeah,
on.
me too.
Yeah,
I
what
get the
part-
same error.
Yeah, I'm getting the same error. I've tried like 4 times now. I'm getting the
I've
same.
tried all different softwares.
Yeah.
It's different errors.
It's giving the same thing.
But so when you brought it up, it came up when you were doing upgrades
Yes, sir.
and you upgraded and break something else. That's not working. Even 11 will not work, 12 will not work.
No, we were able to upgrade, do everything. It's just recently that it started. I mean,
Recently,
just
as in
today for
today?
me. Yeah, for me, it's just today that I noticed it.
That you noticed, exactly. Keyword. All right, stop sharing. Let me see if I have another machine that I can take a look at. Look at, this is, what other machine am I working on? I think this is working machines to be 2 or 3. This machine is that. Connect. Oh boy, 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 boy. I have to look for my student's machine. Let's see. Let me ask somebody's machine name. Nope, nope, nope. Look for customer service, customer service. Lorenzo class. Student 248. Okay. Student 248. Hold on. 5901. Okay. Password 1. Am I sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's here as Oracle. Let me. Jeez, what happened here? Nothing is under self downloads. Last tweet, slash okay. Ah. I think this machine has to be rebooted to see it. That's not it. Let me look for another student. Machine. Files, I don't know that one. On the left is what you install. Okay, Arnold. I'm sure Arnold is student 196. Student 196. Okay. What's going on? Your downloads have things theirs don't have.
Yeah, we also face that problem till some of the server will work through.
No, I know these people are preparing for exam tomorrow, and I'm not sure if they have installation there. Not too. You have wasted the whole class. I'll just blame it on you.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because we just discovered that something was wrong with the servers.
No, really, nothing's wrong with the servers. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with the servers? What's this other lady's name? I know she's on top of her game all the time. This is Kumu. I know when you're not seeing Stripe downloads, you have to restart, but I don't want to restart anybody's machine while they're working on it. I think they're in a class now. But I could just go and bring up their Oracle Universal installer. Let me see.
So you're saying that if your download is gone, you just reboot your machine?
Yes, for the most part, you get it. Downloads are not part of your machine. Downloads are a mapped drive, which you are just connected to it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So
the error we're getting now, like, can we try rebooting the machine and it will work? Or?
I do not think so. Your error you're getting is that it's not seeing, it is lacking some display something. Let me try download student 157. I just hope it's not a bigger part of something broken. Student 157. So they have exams today and this Friday. So any attempt to break anything. So it may be a universal program. I'm not sure who is logging on my machine. Okay, so somebody has something. I hope I can remember those who do not have it. Okay, so apparently it's with everybody, nobody can bring up that run installer. So it's not specifically to your machine, everybody's machine has it. Okay, let me take a picture and send to this crazy people. So like to the problems, who was that? Who is not you? Well, but you are the cause of the problem. You do not know what the run installer is.
You should be thanking Natu, actually.
Thanking Natu for what?
Yes, for finding out that this is an issue.
I will just log that server from not working. You are using run installer and today say you don't know what it means. No, nothing. No one can bring up run installer. The whole class. But that's okay. I'll have 10-hour class on Friday. That's for Anita. Okay. Send it. No.
Prof, I have a visual machine. Should I share it?
No one can bring up. Hold on. No one can bring up run. Yes. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Does it bring it up?
Yes.
Okay. No one can bring up run installer. in my class has empty.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
beloved.
Okay. So I'm already in 11G. Let me echo.
You're where?
I said I'm already in 11G. So I just want to call the run installer.
Why are you calling run installer for
On 12 when you're
12C
in
when
11.
on 11G?
No, I called for this one.
Which one?
This one, the database contained by the 11G. But this other one contained by 12C.
So you put your own files in your own places. Under the just see you have a database on that. Why are you confusing yourself?
So it's the way I arrange it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that what is. Read that thing, that what is it saying? Preparing to launch what? Oracle Universal Installer. Does that make sense? And that's the tool. Let's see the people who've never seen this tool before. That's what we're looking for.
So does this mean that it's only not working if you're using VNC? So if you're using something else, it'll work?
Like what? No, he says this is not on the server. He says he has something installed on his machine locally.
Okay.
All right, this is the tool called Oracle Universal Installer. This is the tool you use to install the Oracle database software. And that is where if you go in here, go click on next, uncheck that button and click on next.
Okay.
You uncheck this, and then yours should be working soon. Now it starts saying put the name of your, what is it, my Oracle support software, cannot get to it. I say you should uncheck it and then click on next.
I did.
You said yes.
Okay, that was okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My Oracle's user support name. This is your local thing. That's why I don't want to even worry about it. But this is the tool I wanted to show you about. Speed software updates. Okay. And now it's going to start asking you things like where your Oracle home is. Create and configure databases. It's not where you can install database software only.
Yes.
And go to next. And it start asking you single instance. You click on it. If it was rack, you click on that. That's what you did. And you select your language and you went for next. This is the tool. Oracle Universal Installer. Sometimes Oracle deliver patches using this, the Enterprise Edition. What are you doing here? You are installing the software. Click on next. You cancel at the end.
Okay.
Then you specify your Oracle home, where the software will be installing. So this is what is called installation, as Matusin to mixing installation and configuration. Next. All right, and cancel out here. This way it says, okay, I've done this, I've done my checks, I've done the prerequisite checks, and I'm going to do the installation and so on. So this tool is called Oracle Universal Installer. It is used to deliver the software. What else is used to deliver software? What else is used to deliver the software? What else do we use to deliver the Oracle software? We've seen OUI, and what else? And OPatch. What is a patch? A patch is a software, it's a fix.
So I thought OPatch is for patching.
What is a patch? It's not a fix to the software. It's It's a fix. Oracle gives you, when Oracle gives you things to install, that is, you can call it a software, it's a patch. What are patches for? Why do you have a patch? Why do you, what will patches do for you? There are 3 things patches can do for you. This, and that. What else? What are they?
For security, to fix bugs.
And for bug fixes, security, and enhancements.
Enhancement.
Good. So it's an enhancement to the software. You want additional functionality, they'll send you a patch, you install it. It becomes 11.201 to 11.201.2 or 1.1 until it moves now to another version. All right. So now that you've known what the OUI is, tell us what did you want to say? Natu? You doing this class or doing this class and escaping?
I'm here, Prof.
But because you decided not to talk? You're reading something, and that's what was confusing us. So I'm saying, like, what did you want to say?
Okay, I've rectified. I said I have installed 11G and 12C softwares using manuscript and OUI.
Okay, we don't install, you cannot install with the manual script, right? Using OUI.
Configure.
Software. But it's okay, configure, good. You can configure using scripts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Which
so
is,
can I put install and configure?
Say that again.
Can I put install and configure?
Then you can use OUI and manual scripts because you can use manual scripts in configuration.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, what is configuration?
Yes.
You use the software to create a database. Remember that. But you must install the software, then you use the software to configure. Like what? You create a database, you are configuring. You change the state of the database, you are configuring. And you can always configure using script. You change parameters, all those are configurations. And you know you can change them using OUI, but know that the OUI you are using for what? For installation.
Yes.
Then configuration. So if you want to put the 2 of them, then you can put the 2 of them together and say that's what it means. Okay. All right. What was the next sentence you're saying?
I have created databases using manuscript. I've also created databases using manuscript and DBCA.
Good. Next.
I have also applied CPU.
Why do you have to use also? I have applied CPU.
I have applied CPU patches for security reason and bug fixing on 11G.
Why do you limit yourself only to CPU patches? What other patches do you know? Do you know PSU patches?
Oh, I even wrote it down.
Say yes.
I even wrote it down. It's on my note.
I didn't wrote it down.
I say I even wrote it down. It's on my note. Chicha, don't frustrate me.
You're reading things that you wrote down. You're not reading things that you wrote down. Then you are there when I say reading, you say frustrate. What's frustration from? Why are you limiting yourself to one patch? List it. You can use PSU, CPU, and one-off patches, right?
Okay, sir.
Keep going. Using the OPatch utility. Keep going.
Yeah, I've used OPatch utility for patching my databases. For enhancement, I think I said it already.
Why repeat yourself? Things it helps you. I've said it already. Keep going, keep going.
I have upgraded databases from 11.201 to 11.
No, those are too many details. Else you will go forever without just telling us details. From 10G to 11G and to 12C. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Remember, this is very high level. The details are yet to come in the interview is about to start. Keep going.
Oh, I've created databases from 11G to 12C, manually and using DBUA as a database upgrade assistant.
No, DBUA, that's fine. Or anyway, or database upgrade assistant, that's fine too. Keep going.
Also data pump transportable table spaces according to
What? You throw what are data pump transportable table spaces? What are you talking about here? You're using an upgrade using data pump transportable table spaces? Yes, this is the one I wanted to hear. Because there's a big lie here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I forgot something. I wanted to write something. I probably forgot the sentence.
Talk it. I want to forget.
Yeah, because it's another sentence, so it's not on the same line even.
It is, but it's a very wrong line. That's what I'm trying to fix.
I don't know.
So is it data pump import and export?
She said data pump import and export, but she also said I've migrated databases. She said something which is not right.
Right.
No, I was still on the upgrade.
Your upgrade.
Yeah, I'm still at the level of upgrade.
From dev to test or to pre or something of that sort. Read it now. That's the best way we can know.
So I said I upgraded from 11G to 12C manually and using DBUA.
Okay.
That upgrade assistant. Then the sentence continue where I said data pump with data and data pump transportable table space according to business requirement. This.
Okay. All right. That one. That last part is not there. Continue.
Okay. I've created and managed table spaces. Yeah, that's it. Then the next one, performance tuning has been part of my daily activity, where I have tuned at the level of network, database, and application level using tools like AWR, ASH, ADDM, Explain Plan, SQL Tuning Advisor, OEM, just to name a few.
Okay.
To monitor my database, I have used OEM, and that's why you say that one is wrong. Auditing, such as find.
You don't use auditing is under security, not under that. All right. So skip that one, fix it. Go continue going. I want you to finish your own, and let's get the next people online.
Okay. Security is also one of my daily activity. Was also one of my daily activity where I created and managed users, grant them privilege and revoke privilege when required. I've also implemented.
You can also say granting them privileges through roles. Those are the buzzwords you want to hear. Roles you want to hear, privilege you want to hear. You know. All right.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Keep going.
I've implemented the network encryption, database data reduction for advanced security measures.
You have done what? This last one, I didn't get the first words.
Implement.
Implemented.
I implemented TDE.
And data encryption, good.
Yeah, and database reduction to advanced security measures.
For advanced security measures and data reduction. Okay, keep going.
I've also done some backups and recovery where I use Arman backup, data pump for logical backup, physical backup, user managed backup.
Which one is physical backup? You mentioned it as a type. I know you mentioned Arman, you mentioned user managed backup, and you mentioned data pump for logical backups. But I had physical backups. Where was that in this place? All right, if it's not there, fix it, move on.
Okay, so.
I'll give you a template for this, that's why I'm just rushing, but it's just I said certain things which were not right that I wanted to point out.
Okay.
Keep going.
So I've also scheduled some backup using crontab.
Schedule backup using crontab, right?
I've done clone database using Arman and scripts.
Cloned databases using Arman and
I had the opportunity to work on different configuration as part of a team and by myself. As part of a team, we configure data guide for high availability, maximum.
No, all of those I want you to do it by yourself. This is talking about you, not about a team. Team is good to work, but when you are talking about your achievements, it's you. I don't want to hear that team part in this part. Very, 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 very. People Especially Indian people think that people use the team to just hide what they don't know. So just say, I have done it. I'm asking you about yourself. Keep going.
Okay. So I've configured data guide for high availability, maximum performance, and disaster recovery, as well as Golden Gate for.
No, they deserve a single sentence for each of them.
Okay.
I have also configured Golden Gate.
I've also configured Golden Gate for integration and real-time data replication across heterogeneous platforms. Personally successfully configured RAC real application cluster 2 nodes for high availability and scalability. And
what is scalability?
how can I and I asked that question just the other day.
What is scalability? You say I do what? You say ask the question before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I really try to explain, but it's always more easier.
Scalability
Okay. It's what?
Is you know, you can add node or reduce depending on the workload.
So what is it?
So can we say to manage resources?
No. If you have done something for scalability, there is something called capacity planning. Who's ever heard the word capacity planning? Anita, what is capacity planning? Just listen to those words. Capacity planning. Yes, what is it?
That's 2 words. I guess to
So can I try?
No, Anita wanted to say something.
Okay.
1 second.
I guess it's dividing the load across different nodes.
No, not really. Go ahead, Bello.
So it provide capacity beyond single server, like
That's instead bringing.
Can I use an
example?
example?
To explain the details of it, but if you understand the gist of what it is, then it starts becoming easier and better. And then you from capacity, you know, what's capacity planning?
Can I use an example?
No, you can describe it to us, then example will be used to qualify.
Okay.
But go ahead, use the example, let's see.
Let's say like in Thanksgiving season, or where the sales are higher, you know, a company can decide to increase the number of nodes.
Number of resources.
Resources, yes.
Capacity planning is what? Is what?
I think to make sure that no node is overworked or overused.
No, you're going to understand what RAC is. RAC is used for scalability. And I've asked you, what is capacity planning? It is for accommodating growth. Because you can add a node at any time when your users keep growing. That makes sense? That is why RAC is used for scalability, which says, if now we have more users, what can we do? We can just add another node. Are you following? If we had 1 server, that server will stay there, and at some point we're going to outweigh the resources of that server. And what will be the solution? To buy another server. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
But if you have a RAC environment, you can add nodes to it. So you can keep increasing the capacity of your machine to accommodate the growth. So scalability is simply accommodating the growth. Does that make sense?
So it's just like adding more servers to ensure the to ensure adequate performance.
I didn't hear you say adding more what?
I said like adding more servers now, like you say, it's just like adding more servers to.
No, we call them nodes in the RAC environment, right?
Yeah, adding more nodes, yeah.
That is what I am meaning. That is what I mean by capacity planning. So when you say you configure rack for scalability, because an average environment, when you are out, you outdo the resources of the server, that server is useless. You have to buy another one. Migrate your database to that bigger server. But in a rack environment, you can simply add another node to it and you grow. That's one of the biggest reasons for rack, because people kept buying and buying servers. And after 2 years, the servers are decommissioned. And you need to migrate everything to another server. But with a rack environment, you can just add another node onto it. As you know, space can grow from now till tomorrow. But what do you need the servers for? Your servers leverage what? Processing and memory. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So thank you for the clarification.
For the clarification. So it's good to know that is a rack environment primarily was built for capacity planning. People were wasting servers, were wasting resources. But now you just buy another one, you add it to what you already have. And add it 6 node rack, 7 node rack. It's way much better than having to buy a new machine every time. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's make it 20 minutes. I will be back at 8:30. We'll do a couple more. Then I will try to start telling you how to answer, giving you templates on how these questions will come. But I may take a couple more from people. So if you are ready, that's fine with me. If you are ready, then we'll just get ready. We'll see or do 2 more. But I want to start giving you that template. Because at every minute, today, Natu took about 45 minutes trying to put my universal installer. You'll pay our air school fees.
No problem. At least you listen to what I wrote. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. See you in.
I've tried now, sir.
You have. That's why I'm wasting my time correcting it now. I'm not wasting my time correcting it.
Oh, this man.
Natu,
Yeah.
what's up?
I did in the middle. How are you? Long time.
I'm all right.
I say, what's up, Brian Day? I need you. Now only you are the inside the group. I need understand. What's that the other one today?
Shut up. So shut up.
Hey, Che, my person.
Natu.
Wow, long time. See, I miss you guys so much. You guys cannot understand.
You miss me. You know, find me.
Hey, Che, I need to even listen to your voice again, Che. You don't turn a mumu. I need to understand. You need to talk to us.
No, so you don't be a senior DBA, so you do the observe.
Now, so DBA, my friend John Liver. So that project where they even dog, so even one of the project can never finish. Well, I go to start 5 years experience. I don't do that. That guy do this. My better study go and back.
No, but you don't do it now.
I don't do it no, but I don't finish no. I say I personally configure.
You have done it in spirit.
As a personally,
yes, Natu say single-handedly configure rack.
I tell you.
Single-handedly.
I tell you.
I watch him now.
You don't know left hand now. You already put it for Cameroon for electrical.
Now say don't even leave a man finish the script. I don't talk. Say they don't even use my documentation. Put up for share. Say now.
Understand? Communication is the key, and after that, it's the boss. You must respect the hierarchy of your employer. And if you don't get through it together, I mean, you as I said, you've done your job is to do what? Explain what you want to say, communicate it, put it in writing, put it again, as I'm saying, it's very technical. If it is ethical, HR handles that. But you don't even want to go there. You don't want to go to HR because HR, people don't like HR. HR, you want to see them once when they hire you. Anytime HR calls you after you have seen you, there's trouble. All right?
Yes, sir.
They want to give a warning of fire. So,
Not your salary.
They'll not even tell you, they'll send it to your manager. Just why do I have to see people to cost salary? Yesterday, I got to my shop and the way people were looking at me, oh my goodness, I felt so bad. I almost ran away. So I did not go there. Let me care. You people better fix it.
HR.
Say, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. As a DBA with experience, yes. What don't you like as being a DBA? What don't you like about being a DBA?
I already asked you. Now you want to ask me back.
Yeah, because now you have experience. I don't have experience.
That's what we're going to answer.
Experience.
I gave you the 15 slides you should research.
But now I'm asking your own opinion. What from your own experience? That's what I'm asking. Not my own opinion. I'm still going to find mine.
Oh, you're going to find yours. You want mine?
Yeah, from my 1 year, from my 1 year in class.
Is mine yours?
No, I just want to listen to yours.
Okay, good.
Not taking yours.
Close your ears. Let me say it.
Criminal.
Close your ears. Let me tell you.
I'm closing my ears.
Go and do research. Go and do your research. Whatever you bring will fit. That's the purpose of this exercise.
No, we're
right,
just
so
asking. We're just asking based on discussion, just to know.
Say that again.
No, she's just asking based on discussion, just to know. Like we are just inquisitive, just to know what you don't like as a DBA.
I have many things I don't like.
Like
the salary is too small for me.
Wonderful. Bye bye.
Are you gonna say that to a recruiter?
I am not looking for a job. Mind you, you are. And I'm just giving you wrong things that you don't dare say, but that's the truth. I cannot be a salary DBA now because I cannot stand the salary.
Okay. So if the salary is too small, it means indirectly you're saying that the load of the work is too much. That's it.
Let me explain something to you. I don't know what you do now for work, but your DBA work, you will have more time being a DBA than doing whatever you're doing now. Except you are just except you are a housewife. Where housewives even do more work. In fact, what am I talking? As a DBA, you work less. Let's not put it that way. It's not a workload that will work you. Trust me, you will be humble. This is your mouth that you are running like this. You calm you down.
Really?
Yes, Shay, it will calm you down. You calm down.
Of course, I'm calm down. Do you think I talk like that at work? No, I'm very professional. I don't even talk at work.
Can I ask a question?
No. If you go where I work and ask Natu, they will tell you that she's the most professional.
Okay. Second question.
Yes, go ahead.
So we had a conversation with Natu. So she asked if how to get along with different personalities.
Okay.
And we shared different opinions, which she said, like, if you encounter someone that doesn't really speak at work, like a colleague, how would you relate with the person? So she said you have.
If somebody is too quiet.
Yes.
Yes.
So she said you need time to, like, you will study the person, study everybody.
I didn't say you need time. I said what.
You just need to study the person.
You don't need to study the person. So I was wondering
know how to approach them.
If that's really the right word to use.
I don't know if study the person means something, but I think I understand what she's saying. What she means is, I will take some time to understand them. Would I be studying the person?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to say. Maybe I was supposed to put understand. So should I put understanding instead of studying the person?
Yes, I will try to understand the person, and I will try to understand. Some people by nature do not talk. Some people do not communicate because maybe from the environment that they come from, you're never sure of their environment or their backgrounds. A lot of these people who come from caste regions, some caste areas, the woman is so suppressed that they don't feel free to express themselves. You understand? That is a background thing. Some people, when they talk to you, like it's from where most of you are from Africa, when you talk to an adult, or sorry, not an adult, an elderly person, you don't look at the person in the eye, right? You drop your head to the ground out of what? Respect.
Right.
But if you do that in America, the man feels you're lying. So when you're going to be talking to your boss, be him 60 years or 21-year-old, look at them in the eye. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true.
That is a cultural difference. Yeah, that's a cultural difference. So you're going to talk to some people who don't want to look at me. And it's just that we had a brief thing in the class. When I see you drop your eyes down, I don't like it. I want you to go straight into the eyes and look at it, because that's how your boss will. You couldn't call your boss John, and John is 75 years old. Even the president, don't everybody call him Joe. Joe is like 102, but Joe. So it is just the culture, and we understand we are in America, so we will go with the American culture. Does that make sense?
They like eyes contact.
Yes, they like eye contact. So what you will do is you take some time to understand where they're coming from and be patient with them. You understand? Sometimes for some people, it takes a little bit of time to warm up to the environment, especially these people called developers. Let me explain to you, almost everybody who does computer science in school, one is they are nerds. So they are always going towards programming. So you will meet them quite a bit, but they are all programmers. They are ahead, they are working and thinking. Those wild people, looking like some who come into school that work with a t-shirt that you think they just took it from under their bed. But if you program that, when that boy jumps on top of the computer, you go say, my goodness, who born this one? You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, and sometimes they don't work at regular hours. I've had this gentleman, he works only at 3, 4 a.m. And I said, what's this? So my boss does not care when he comes to work. You see him coming with his half shirt, his badge just hanging in his neck, sometimes with his 2-rope slippers. And he just walks. When he sits in his computer, he's only playing video games and throwing these stretch balls in the air. But my boss will come, hey, what's up? How you doing? All right, yeah, you want to go for lunch today? I say, yes. Will I be able to drink a beer? that is how he talks. But he has a slamming brain. When he goes, or sometimes I want to leave at 5, and I asked him how he operates. He says he feels it. You cannot force him to do it. You cannot say, go and do this thing now. No, he will not. But just give him the time. When the right time comes, he sits there at 4 a.m., see what's coming out. Because when he does that, he sends this for testing, he sends this for this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Sanjay came out with the scripts. Blah, 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 blah. Some of them, Caucasian, some black people, the scripts come out perfectly written. But that's how they work. So those nerds are there too. You can't just say, oh, he's a nerd, I don't like him. Look, you need his sense. You don't get to like him, you need him. Very, very smart. But let them talk. To talk that thing, no, that's what your boss is there. Your boss will say, okay, we finally got we who? No. But it usually takes the team. But you know the persons who tie those knots together. I mean, I have many friends who are programmers. This was always talking nonsense, just rubbish. But when that boy sits to code, oh, Cameroonian, yes. So he will work so hard, but he needs people to put his work out there. He needs people to, coordinate his work. That's where the DBA, the IT manager, all that. That's what we do. So we just look at it as distribution of the job. So you take care of the database, you take care of the program, this person takes care of the network and so on. We're all part of the team. Does that make sense? So with those kind of people, your good bosses are experts in that, bringing the best out of everybody. I try to do that. But some of you are still very quiet. I don't know. We're very quiet. Who like, no, not Natsu.
I'm very quiet.
All right, so that's the team that we work with. Everybody has a different perspective of different things. But the bottom line is, if you are nice at work, you talk to everybody, you smile with everybody, you get everything done on time. Very, very well, on time. But you cannot be quiet. Just sit on your own and not talk to anybody. It's not going to be good. It's a place that you need your mind. You need your mind. You need to be clean and clear. You need to understand what people are saying. I know some people here are not saying it to anybody, but some people are, how do I call it, they walk with their temper on their sleeves. At any minute, they can just get out of character. No, it's going to worry you. It's going to worry you because you're sitting in that meeting is 2 hours, but that's those 5 minutes when everybody wants to concentrate on you and ask you things, you want to make sure that you're on top of your game. And usually it's not hard things. How long will it take you to create also a new database? What are the specifications of the new server that is going to come? And it's okay for you to say, okay, let me do a little bit of research on that, and I'll get back to you. And then you do your bit of research, boom, you deliver. Say, okay, no problem. You know, next, what do we want to do? What will happen if this happens? What will we do if this happens? And so on. Put your minds together, work together. Always ask for help. When you leave here, you're going, you have, there's a group where you put questions, drop questions, they ask yourself. Your class group should be lighting like fire. Your class group should be lighted with questions and answers and questions and answers. Other people will see jobs some other place, push it to you and so on. That's how this thing works. So work with it as a team. Because some people, I think if we did not have this Brown Tech team, you don't know what would have been happening to you. Who would you have been talking to them on a daily basis? The same old friends. But when we have this, I know that for 3 hours, 4 hours, I'm talking to a bunch of students on this way, at this level, we're talking that everybody has a fight at a different level. You know, we can hunker this down in Alaska. You don't care. You have your class that you're talking about, drawing jokes. The classes, the busiest groups are people who graduated 3, 4, 5 years ago. Go to their groups, busy. They are looking for boom. Now you got 2. You guys want to so those is very, very important. You see a new technology, you share. You see this, you share. All right, we're going to see how it works. As soon as this virus gets low again, we're going to try to meet. And just sometimes just the laughter and just relaxation, very, very important. All right, what are we on now? We want to hear from people more. Can I give you a template now? Who's ready? I can listen to 2 more. And I give you the template from which we'll build. And how many groups do we have in the evening class? Because I also want to share out the topics for our summaries. That one we'll do, I think we'll start that one next week. I want us to just wipe out soft skills 1 and soft skills 2. And I can give you your topics for summaries. How many groups do you have in the evening class?
I think 4.
How many? 4?
Yeah, I think so.
4. So averaging like 5, 6 a group?
I think a group has 11 or 12.
Yeah, the buffer.
12.
And
Which are the groups? Let me hear. Group, which one is group 1? Or how do you name them? Or Lanham group or Greenbelt group? Or what are the names of the 4 groups?
I think there's Silver Spring,
Lanham Solution Center.
Lanham.
Buffer.
Silver Spring, Lanham.
Solution Center. Don't forget to put Solution Center.
Which one?
Center.
Collision Center.
Solution.
Oh, Solution Center. I thought it was Collision.
No.
Okay, so I have Silver Spring, Lanham, Solution Center, and what?
The buffer.
And the buffer group.
Buffer Cash Group. And Silver Spring, I think that's it.
Yes, I had Silver Spring, Lanham, Solution Center, and buffer group. How many people are in Silver Spring?
I think there's Lanham, right?
No, there's Silver Spring, there's Lanover, there's Buffer Team, and there's probably Solution Center or
So it's not Lanham, it's Landover.
Yes, Lanover.
No, there's Lanham and Lanover, right?
So there's
The
Lanham.
Lanham
That's a
team is
separate group.
Solutions. Huh?
No, the Lanham is excuse me, the Lanover is a separate group. Why the
Yes.
Lanham Solution Center is one
It's a
group.
separate one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me there's Lanham and then you don't know the name of
There
the
is
group.
Silver Spring, Lanover, Buffer Team, and Solution Center or Lanham Solution Center.
Okay, so Lanham is the Solution Center.
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Very important, sir. That's
Very
Solution
important
Center.
words.
That's Solution Center.
Follow
And
one.
it's not Buffer Team, it's Buffer Cash Team.
I call them buffer group.
Don't
Buffer
forget
cash.
the cash.
Don't forget the cash.
Okay. How many people in Silver Spring?
12.
How many people in Landover?
3.
How many people in Lanham Solution Center?
10. Lanham 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
How many people in Buffer Cash?
10.
10.
10. Okay. All right. So
I think I can forward you the list.
yes, I would really want you to do that. And one of the things I asked this morning is that do you have like a group leaders group? Who are the group leaders? Because I want the group leaders, because this is a question, or this is my dilemma. Group leaders, do you want to, I will give you the topics. There are about 17 or 18 of them. Do you want to share it amongst your group, or do you want me to share it amongst your group? You know your groups better than me.
Say 17 topics for you.
There are some groups that are 3, there's some groups that are 5, that 10 or 12. Can I just
17 topics for one group, sir.
Say that again.
17 topics for a single group or for the whole class?
No, so you for the whole class. You're going to read for me, I'm going to read for you. So I'll give you a different topic, right? And then you are the groups. So you and your group will share those topics. You can put 2 people per topic, whatever the case is. All right? And you look at those, you know those who are going to work very hard and bring the best out. For example, you cannot just take performance tuning and give it to somebody who's not been working very, very hard and you think that it's going to come out correctly. It's not going to happen. You cannot just take your rack and give it to somebody who's not been working very, very hard and you think that miracle is going to happen. It will not work. These summaries, these are for summaries. Summarize and present, summarize and present. Then we'll put all of it together and we'll share it. So instead of taking 2-3 months to summarize all of Oracle that we've learned from architecture to rack, we are going to just divide it amongst ourselves and share it and do it within 2 weeks. Do you understand the exercise?
Yes.
All right. So do we want a representative to take the big group, maybe with the coordinator, and then you work with the leaders of the group and you divide out the topics? Or if you give it to me, I'll do it at random. I think you know yourselves better, so you can do it better than I am. But if it's going to take any time, or people say, I don't want this, I want that, you don't need to want anything. Then when the group leads me, they will give it. And once they give it, that is your group. On behalf of the class, you are going to do that research, you are going to do the presentation. And the good thing with the research, tell me especially things that I don't know about the specific topic that you are given. You will have topics like data warehousing, which we've not been taught, but will depend on you to do the research on behalf of the class. You will have things like data modeling. You have to do it on behalf of the class. So it's a very intense exercise. So you're having no Christmas this year. After all, you had Christmas last year.
So those
no Christmas.
So the summaries are for topics that we didn't do.
Say that again.
The summaries that we are supposed to do, they are for topics that we didn't do in class.
No, I said it includes. I talked about rack. I talked about performance tuning. You've done those ones, right?
Yes.
Good. I've also talked about things that you've not done, like data warehousing and data modeling, correct?
Yes.
Good. I said there is no Christmas. That's what I've just told you.
Why now?
So how long will you give us to do it?
Say that again.
How long will you give us to do it?
A couple of weeks max. Because we're dividing it out. So I'm not giving you to say go and take 2 weeks. No, you'll be doing soft skills and doing summaries.
But present it too.
Yes. But that becomes a summary of the entire Oracle, again, from architecture to rack. Once you do that summary, you can start listening to what people are saying across the street. You can start listening to interviews. I can give you interviews because I don't want you will hear an interview, you hear something. I want you to be familiar with it, but you don't know how to answer it. That's a very easy problem to fix. But when you hear something and it sounds so strange, then is that a teaching moment? Are those teaching opportunities? Trust me, the next person I said was what interview preparation. So whoever is going to come here, you are doing this. So it's not much. It's not much. As soon as you get it, you summarize it. The whole Oracle is now inside of one notepad, or what's that thing called? OneNote. We just have different tabs, and on that one, if those different tabs, you put your topics there, well summarized. That's all you read. Forget about all this jargon that you've been doing. But that's what you used to do. What? Answer questions. That is your, how do they call it? That's your cartouche. That's your speckle. But it should be well summarized, well detailed.
You used to triche in class. How do you know cartouche?
So does it
I
include
will block
practical?
this girl. Eh?
So does it include
You
practical?
should not to stop now.
No, nobody gives you practicals in the exam now.
No, I'm talking about the
in the interview.
presentation.
You're talking about what?
I'm talking about the presentation.
No, you don't really have to, except somebody wants it. You understand?
Yeah.
You have a limited time to do this presentation and go. For example, you come today, they say today, Bello is presenting. People don't want you to, it's not teaching. We believe that these things have already been taught. You understand? We've already been through it. So now it's summary. You understand what I mean? So we can summarize, get some caption of it, take it as your what is it? Your cartouche to go and do your interview.
So we still fundamental, right?
I didn't hear you.
We're still gonna do SQL fundamental or just Postgres?
SQL fundamental is what? SQL Server.
Yes, are we gonna do that or just
What?
Postgres?
Do what?
We were supposed to have Postgres and SQL fundamental, right?
SQL fundamental.
No, SQL Server. We
SQL
already learned
fundamental
SQL
is an
fundamental in
exam.
DB2.
So what was the other, Anita, what was the other one that we were supposed to do?
I think it's SQL Server. That's what he said, right?
I said SQL Server. She keeps saying
okay.
SQL fundamental. You don't even know the name, so I'll not do it.
So you want to penalize the whole class because of me?
Not to mute yourself, please.
Thank you. As long as you want it, yes, I'll give it. But again, if it's making sense, and as I'm saying, it does not stop the interview process while taking these classes. You understand what I mean, right?
Yes.
You've already done the big cheese, which is Oracle. Does that make sense? So all of these ones are 2 weeks. You know how to. You come in, download the development studio. Remind me, you do it. I don't just want multiple at the same time. So after Postgres, then we'll do SQL Server. I think SQL Server, she normally does it for about 2-3 weeks. Then Postgres is about a month.
It's optional, right?
Very, very optional.
Okay.
Yes.
At what point do you get your resumes?
In January, well, you don't listen to what I say.
Okay.
I said this does not stop the interview process, which is what? Send me a resume, take it out, go out there. The people, everybody who is across the street is attending a class.
Okay.
Who are interviewing are doing classes. To keep you up to date, that is my COVID gift. For these people, those who are working, they are still coming, they are attending classes. They are working. Anita, I don't tire. Go and walk. You will walk. It's okay. But you come back and be doing your classes. Don't worry. When you go to one interview, they bomb you. You will come back.
For me, is I like to plan my stuff. You know, originally I was told 6 months, and now, you know, I'm just saying, I like to plan myself.
I'll also intervene in this 6 months business. After DB2, let me explain to you, Oracle database is DB1 and DB2.
Okay, well, you didn't make that clear earlier.
I think I did.
He said that in class.
I think I did.
The first week,
did.
he said that after DB2, you can postulate for jobs.
After DB2, you can bow out of the program. Very, very clear. I know projects, I designed it. It is a school's thing now. It's our thing. It's not an Oracle Corporation. But I know how beneficial it is for people to get the job and keep the job. RAC is $3,800 on its own. Golden Gate is about $3,500. I'm saying these are all provable information. If you go under Oracle Corporation, go to their go to education. They are different courses, but I am taking those courses and I'm giving you the courses to help you succeed. So it's not a matter of wanting to keep anybody here. Frankly, at this point, if you are finished paying, you can demand your resume and I'll give it to you. Absolutely. Because none of us want to keep anybody in here for 1 other second than is necessary. But I know what it takes. Why you people go to job the next day, they tell you data guard and you start running around. Meanwhile, I knew that if you commit yourselves for another 2-3 minutes or weeks, you're going to succeed and succeed for the next 8 years or next 10 years. That is why I'm adding all of these things. So please, if you want to move on, just make sure that we are fine on school fees. Please send me a text and I will expedite your resume and give it to you. But again, that means you have graduated yourself. All right? So I'm not saying it as it is. I'm giving this thing. Trust me, all this is costing me money. But the only way I find success is if you succeed. Yes. Paying all these teachers, it costs me a good amount of chunk of change a month. I should not do that. But again, I'll just be graduating people and throwing out on the streets like everybody else is doing. But I'm not everybody else. That's why I keep on adding this. All right, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Please, 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 just let me know. I'll send your resume. It's okay. We don't have to force these things, but we follow the markets. All right, let's begin. Let me start with giving you a template. Did anybody want to speak? Anybody has anything else who wanted to go through one more? I don't think we have time for one more. Did anybody prepare anything that they think is a slam dunk?
Slam dunk. What is a slam dunk?
Slam dunk means that you hit it out of the park. It's a home run. It's a sports cliche. When you score a super goal, so if anybody thinks that whatever they have prepared is a slam dunk, then if you have killed it, that's what it means.
I don't think I cleaned.
Else, I'll give you the. Else, I'll give you a template. All right. So let me give you a template on how you can start. All right. I already did something for the morning. The first one, let me see. Can I share my screen? So, nope. That's one. All right. So, tell me about yourself. I said there were going to be 2 versions that we're going to work on, correct? The first version was going to be about your, to the hiring manager. And the second version will be your direct technical skills. All right. The one for the hiring manager, I want to hear a lot about your personality and stuff like that. All right. So you can even talk about your previous job in brief. All right. You can talk about your previous career, give it 2 or 3 sentences or 2 or 3 lines. Okay. And then you give the next one will be for the technical crew. The technical crew will be either the DBAs who are interviewing you, the hiring manager who's interviewing you and whatnot. All right. So the first one is what you start is your name. My name is Natu Benny, and I have a bachelor's degree in an associate degree, a master's degree, a diploma, a PhD, whatever it means, right? You're going to mention a degree. I also have certifications in, start naming and listing your certifications. Any relevant certification. In fact, I'll say any IT certification, IT related. Don't say you have HHA certificate. That's not related, all right? But if you have A+ or you have Security+, please do just let us know. Any questions with that? Your name, your education, which will include your certifications. Any relevance? Once you put it in there, your degree. If you have bachelor's degree in geography, you want it there. Is it not IT related? No, but HR loves degrees. If you have a degree in arithmetic, put it there. All right? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next part of this interview, if you are talking to a technical team, or if it was a technical interview, you may skip this part in green. Does that make sense? But if you are talking to a hiring manager, remember, the first interview is the recruiter who just, most of it is scheduling and tell me about yourself. Just be very articulate, then the recruiter will be very impressed and will submit you. The second interview is the technical interview. So, like I said, skip this part in green. That's why I put it for the hiring manager. I put this one here. Are we following? So for the hiring manager, you can give 1 or 2 sentences about your past experience. If it's not for the hiring manager, after your certifications, you go into technical. But if it's for a hiring manager, yeah, you start talking about, I am a proactive database administrator, or I approach database administration in a proactive mindset. I have excellent communication skills. I'm good with multitasking. I'm a team player. I'm excellent with documentation. My work ethics have been great and excellent, and I've led to many different company-based awards. I pay attention to detail. With my background in accounting, I pay attention to detail, and the manager wants to hear. I'm a team player. You can tell me when you have been a team player, how you have executed some team playing skills. You are a quick learner. You always want to be able and open to learning new things. All right? You are punctual, which means you are always on time. Okay? So these are all skills which are not Oracle database technically related, but skills that will land you the job. If you tell me that you are a DBA, I can also ask you, you just told me that you are a DBA. Can you give me an example of a proactive approach that you use when you're performing your database administration duties? You must have an example of when you have showed me your proactive skills. You are good with communication. Okay, good. Can you give me an example how you have shown those skills? Always be ready with an example. Give me an example of when you have been multitask and how you resolve it. This is the manager, hiring manager. You are a team player. Can you give me an example? You are good with documentation. Bello, tell me what is the last document you wrote?
So the last one I got was about Golden Gate.
Okay. What does that mean? You've not even told me about the document. You say you wrote about Golden Gate. You wrote your own Golden Gate book.
No, sir.
There are 2 books out there by the people who made the product.
No, sir. It's like a script on how to configure Golden Gate bidirectional application.
The script. Was that a script that you wrote? Script is not documentation.
It's not?
No, not the script. Script is not documentation. Script is meant to run. You edit it and run it. It's not documentation. Anita, what was the last document you wrote?
Tell me about myself. My resume.
I will mute you and Matu.
No.
The last document you wrote.
I don't know, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, when talking about documentation, I was also thinking about script, but you said script.
And you're also talking. Why don't you talk? Patrick, what's the last document you wrote?
So I have a question.
Patrick,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the last document you wrote? You have a question or no?
I'm just asking a question about the script, the documentation be related to DBA or any other stuff that you've done in like your previous work or anything?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. What job are you looking for?
I'm just asking.
Patrick, what's the last document you wrote?
I was thinking about script too, Prof.
Hey, Jesus. Renalda, what document did you write? Did another person wanted to? Somebody said, somebody called me.
Yes, sir, it's me. Can the documentation be like you were trying to run something and not go through?
No.
So, okay.
No.
I wrote a documentation. I wrote a documentation on an error that I succeeded in fixing.
Summary.
Summary of what?
Summary of a project.
Okay,
summary of a project I did.
Okay, you're not giving me summary. Summary is not what I want.
Okay, so
the report project we did.
Now we're getting close.
okay. Can you document, for example, security policies?
They are usually will not be documented by you. They'll bring in a consultant, a security consultant who will come and document it, right? Can you get it with database related securities? Yes, you can. But I'm talking about a document that you wrote, and that document was used company-wide as a template for data guard implementation, and that earned you Employee of the Month. Data guard implementation, right? It means that, or upgrade, whatever you choose, or Golden Gate implementation. What does that mean? What implement it? You did what? You give all the prerequisites, right? You gave about the lessons learned. I did not send you these things how to write, how to report on the project. Did I send you how to report on the project?
No.
Oh, look at your mouth. Everything, no. Why did you ask for it?
No idea.
Was it in the syllabus?
Take a project. Let's say you go and you want to do upgrades, right? You talk about this kind of servers that you need for upgrade. You talk about the prerequisites for doing an upgrade. You talk about the actual upgrade exercise. You talk about the steps that you use. You talk about the lessons learned, especially prerequisites, things that you must do before this upgrade should work. Because after doing this, remember, you are 10 DBAs in your team, right? Others may want to go and upgrade in different places. They don't have to go and do research that you have already done. That is a document.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
So all these things, the skills that you're talking about, can you answer you?
Perfect. Oh, finally, it's making sense to you guys. Does that make sense?
So why are you talking about it?
This is you now talking about your communication skills. But know that this hiring manager's interview, when you finish telling about yourself, he now comes and concentrates on these things. You understand? That's why we are going into the details of tell me when you have been working. Tell me about the document that you last wrote. I want you to see these two very different. I'm trying to look at, okay, I think I have something here. Here is a guide on how to report all your projects. A conference is very important, answering both technical and new questions. That needed to be installed before we do that upgrade to 12C. Right? 4, what are some of the precautions that must be considered before implementation? What are the resource requirements? For example, how much memory, how much disk space required? Any network considerations? Do we need some ports to be open? Is the DNS name server working? Do we need some IP addresses to be configured? Just like when you want to do RAC, right? You have the additional IP addresses, Sky IPs and right? Virtual IPs. Does that make sense? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Good. Testing phase. What do you do about testing? Remember, you have done to make sure that Oracle 12 works better than Oracle 11. If people come back next day, you say you're on Oracle 12 and things are running slow, you'll be in trouble. And trust me, Oracle 12 memory. So if you go to the server, not memory, you what was done in quality in user acceptance testing. They must run a full. You must give them time to run quick. You must give them. All right. What were the challenges and the issues and the bottlenecks that you encountered? One of these messages, you must pass it on to the next person. Now you see what documentation is, right? What lessons learned? What research resources did you use? If you implemented it this way, how did you do it? If you from Oracle Press, also, what your research resources? Did you get it from papers? Did you get it online? The next one, what personnel was required for the success of this project? You're doing RAC, you know that you're going to need the network administrator to configure those additional IPs, correct? You're going to need the network administrator to configure the different ports that will be needed. You're going to need the sysadmin to get the servers ready and patch them when necessary. Please use this guide when doing documentation for each project. It's an opportunity to answer these very important interview questions. All right? What's your best day on the job? What's your greatest achievement as a DBA? What's your most challenging day on the job? And have you ever been stressed on this job? You can write it all down, but the thing is here you are putting it. So you see, when someone says what documentation you write, I remember when I configured, when I did the upgrade from Oracle 11 to Oracle 12, blah, 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 blah. And you talk about that documentation. Started when you say, there I have where I put, you're not going to go through all the documents, but you can just give highlights when that manager asks you. I had all my prerequisites, I had my prerequisites, I had my lessons learned, and all the patches that were needed. I had everything noted down in that document. Now, that's a document, it's not a script. The actual implementation is running scripts, because the scripts that you will run will be listed in this document. And the location of where those scripts are will be listed in this document. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to forward this to your, I'll put it out to your class, project report. I just call it project reporting. I'll put / documentation. That's the keep giving you information until you don't want it anymore.
Can you do documentation on a fix of an error?
Well, yeah, you can, but if I want to bring documentation, I'll talk about this kind of documentation.
Okay.
If I want to make it stand out. Why would I do on the fix of an error? We document it, but I mean, you're just putting it there. Yes, it's there. We always do that. But when you want document, I want to tell you that I wrote document for upgrade to my company. Which one would you prefer? Fix an error or upgrade to the fix something that is company wide that will last a long time with your name in it?
Fix. Upgrade.
Okay, so let me put this one. I didn't give money class. Example of documentation. That's also call it, right? I'll just give an example, and I say the example of documentation, and I'll do project reporting. Okay. Like I said. All right, then Class 26. Marriage class. All right. So let's say, well, we can talk about quick learner and so on. So you will explain this one to who? Hiring manager. Okay. Then after that, moving forward on our templates. Soft skills 26. No. Soft skills. All right. So now note that I've gone back to black pen, which means we are this is a technical interview, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, we are back now with technical, so we're talking about installation and configuration. All right. We've installed using the Oracle install both single instance and rack databases. Please just be putting words here. Don't just go and be saying these things, else all of you will say the same thing. I'm giving you the things to write. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Good. So take these words, put in your words. So I've also, after installation and configuration, talk immediately about patches because they kind of go together, upgrades and then upgrades as well.
Ted, do you have a document for that, or we have to see it on what you on that?
A document for what?
Like we can really, I can read it. Yes.
But that's why am I not going through it? Spelling is not me.
Lola BTC.
You see, I'm not the other one.
BOTH. Both single instance / rack databases. All right.
Italian.
Rack databases. Also, I want to already mention, remember, this is just telling me about, so we'll not go. Using what?
GPUA.
And
And
scripts. Then what are you talking now? You make me as it seems as you are writing like a pound.
No, it was a starting. It was a starting.
Looks like
You will just start complaining without hearing. All right. With what? Database monitor.
Yep.
We use to monitor OEM. Monitor
Alerts.
exactly. For database monitoring, we can also do some monitoring using scripts. What are some of going to monitor using script? Disk space monitor. The server takes the DU-8 and sends you the result without you going to type the command and sending it to you on your servers every morning, every week. Also use these scripts to monitor table spaces, so you should be familiar with that. Of your privileged users, or we can also call them application users. These are very important because if an administrative password expires on you, it's going to cause a lot of problems. If an application password expires on you, it will cause a lot of problems.
So what do you mean expire on us?
Every password has an expiration date, right?
Right.
Every password has an expiration date, right? So the application user is just like any other user. You don't want to make sure that sysadm is an application user that I'm sure you have been using. You guys have used sysadm before, right?
Sysad.
You've used the sysadm user when you're doing PeopleSoft, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You don't want those kind of passwords to expire, that's what I'm saying. All right? So our next topic will be when we talk about security. For database security, I want to hear you talk about roles, use to administer privileges, all right? Granting and revoking privileges to roles. And you said you do this for your two-tier users because you directly manage two-tier users. When you talk about security, I want you to talk about creating profiles. What are the two types of profiles that you know? Password profile and resource profile. Am I talking jargons or you know what I'm talking about?
Great.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, just say that, Nasra, and move forward. Okay.
You're waiting on us.
I'm waiting for you. I said, do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. All right. On resource profile, we're talking about memory and CPU. On password profiles, what are we talking about?
Expiration.
Expiration.
An update.
Nope. Expiration.
And granting and changing, yeah, it's like changing the password, right? Administering password.
I'm talking about password profiles. What are you talking about? What are the parameters that you're fixing there when you're managing the password profile?
Expiration, like time expiration.
Someone said expiration, I say yes. Have you ever heard of password reuse?
Or resetting.
Have you heard of password reuse time, password reuse max? Have you ever heard of password locking? Okay. All right, database auditing. These are all what? Security that I'm talking about now. What is this first one?
Where? Which one?
This one that I'm
online.
SD.
What is it?
Standard database auditing.
Standard database auditing.
Fine grain auditing.
Fine grain auditing.
Value-based auditing.
Value-based auditing.
Standard database is governed by what?
What?
Standard database auditing is configured by doing what? Standard database auditing. How do you configure it? It's governed by. You ever heard of the audit trail parameter?
Audit trail?
Parameter.
Yep.
Okay, fine grain auditing is governed by?
Audit trail parameter.
Jesus Christ. There's something called audit trail parameter in fine grain auditing. Have you ever heard of an audit policy?
Yeah.
Value-based auditing is governed by what? Have you heard of the audit trigger?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have also done transparent data encryption. That's why I'm saying if you miss one of these summary classes, you are done. You're finished because you have to go and read it by yourself. Auditing is going to be one of the things which will give to one of you and who will come and revise all of these things in your minds. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's why we have to separate all of these things. People take it and do not mess with it. Because you are giving auditing, you don't come and refresh everybody's mind. If I say go and read all of these things, it's still going to take for you too long. But I need to come in know that today I'm coming to use this first 2 hours for security, and I need everything that you've done on security put from what? From roles and privileges and so on to transparent data encryption, data reduction, and everything. Put it together. Hope you are seeing the scope of what we have to do.
Sure.
What? Okay, let me see. Source piece one. Let me see. All right. Backup and recovery has been blah, 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 blah part of my database career. These are all technical, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One use for backup and recovery. Arman, are we good? User manage data form for logical backups. Implemented different types of backup strategies, including full, incremental, both differential and cumulative. All right. I've also tuned this backup based on what?
Wait, what is that word? That word before backups?
Tuned.
Tuned. Okay.
All right, like tuning something. Performance tune backups.
Yeah, tune backups to. What's the next word?
I'm not saying.
To smile.
It really looked like
Oh,
smile.
it looks like smile.
Nah, it simulates. All right. To simulate service level agreement. What? Am I a writer? All right.
Oh, you're
Tune the backups.
Log writer.
Huh?
I say you're writing like the log writer.
I'm telling you, all over the place. Okay. Following what? Our service level agreement, correct? Remember, service level agreement, they have, you can do this, you can do this, backup, recovery, this, blah, 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 blah. So you must make different backup strategies and tune them based on service level agreement. I've also performed different types of recovery or performed different recovery methods. All right. Like what? Full database recovery, point-in-time database recovery, and also recovery of both what? Critical and non-critical data files. As you can see, by this time, I was already tired. So you see, so even you take one thing, like I said, not too many, 3 lines is good. 2, 3 lines. Don't just do it as you see it here. Please change your words. Use your own words. I'll fix it for you. If you heard that, don't be writing things that you cannot read.
Was that?
You were the one writing things. I would say, what do you mean? You start looking for dictionary.
You were looking for technical terms. I didn't have the technical terms.
Good, that's why I say write it. Write it even in, where are you from? Umbunda. Write it in Umbunda, we'll fix it. Okay, we also have done database refreshes or database refreshes is an integral part of my daily activities. In my environment, we always do data movement using database refreshes, where we use data pump to refresh tables and schemas. We also use transportable table spaces Why do you use a transportable tablespace as opposed to data pump? Why would you use transportable tablespace rather than data pump?
For larger databases.
So why are you using it?
For a large database,
Yes, why are you using it? Why didn't you just use data pump?
it's
Why do you-
faster. It takes
It's faster. That's what I want to hear. It's faster. So for my larger databases, it's advisable to use transportable tables because it's faster. If you use traditional data pump, it will take you 12, sometimes 15, 20 hours. I've seen it. But with transportable table spaces, it will be much smaller time. All right. Database migration. What is a database migration? What is database migration? What is database migration?
moving the database across different operating systems,
Oh,
different servers.
thank you. Moving the database across different servers, because note that you may do a migration on the same operating system platform. It's still a migration, right?
Yes.
So what happens when you move across different operating systems? What happens? When you move it from one operating system to another operating system. Note that when they are going to buy a server, right? They don't ask you. They just want to buy cheaper, faster servers. They don't ask you whether you're in what operating system or not. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if you were using a Linux server and then they go and they buy Windows servers, they said it was cheaper and these are faster, they have more capacity, they have more speed. They're going to bring it, it's a server, and they expect you to use it, right? So you're going to migrate those databases to the new server.
Right.
So what happens when you migrate a database from one server to another server with a different operating system?
What do you mean what happened?
Well, I mean, what happened? What happened means what happened. When you move it, what do you do? When you move the data from one server, right? Let's say a server 20. Here we have server 20 and 21, correct?
Yes.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Server 20 is Linux, server 21 is Windows, correct?
Yes.
And you have to move the database HR prod from server 20 to server 21. That's database migration, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, so what you do when you move the files from server 20 to server 21? That's my question.
You're moving it across different engine formats?
Yes. Which means what?
You're converting the files?
Yes, no, you are going to move the files. But the fact that you have moved the files does not mean that the files will work. You must convert the files to Windows format. It means you are moving these files across different NDN formats. And that's the NDN format, something I simulated the NDN format on my left, right? And I just say, let me write again, since you're complaining, you cannot see my writing.
We have
Who is asking? The answer depends on who is asking. Natu is asking.
Natu is asking.
Okay. No, answer. Let's say we have our NDN format 1 here, NDN format 2. Please go and do some research to find out the real NDN format that is. It's all over, and you see it somewhere online. NDN format 3, NDN format 4. All right. See my operating systems here. This operating system 1, operating system 2, OS 3, OS 4, OS 5, OS 6, and OS 7. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. My question to you is: if you are moving, you are moving a file from OS 1 to OS 2, do you have to convert the file?
No.
No, because they are the same endian format. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you are moving a file from operating system 1 to operating system 3, do you have to convert the file?
Yes.
Very good, because you are going across endian format. So it's a chart like that. If you are moving from operating system 5 to operating 6, do you need to convert?
No.
No. But if you are moving from operating system 3 to operating system 7, do you need to convert? Does that make sense? That's what the endian formats are. It's on different operating systems. The Linux, sometimes something that can work with Linux version, let's say a Linux Enterprise version 3, is different from the endian format for Linux Enterprise version 5. It worked before, but it doesn't work now. Are you following?
Can you come again, sir?
I'm saying if something worked in older version, right? And you do not need to convert it, OS1, OS2, right? But we have this OS2 version 5, because and it is in endian format 3. It means there must be conversion.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Even the new versions that come in can actually move it into another different endian format. So you have performed migration. Why am I talking migration? You have performed migration across servers on the same operating system, as well as migrated across servers on different operating systems. In this situation, I had to convert the files because they were on different endian formats. That's all it is. So I just explained this endian format, not that you have to explain it, right? But just to let you know that migration is moving from one server to the other. Servers are changed almost every 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 to 3 years. They'll change servers, right? And when they change these servers, you have to move them to the more modern, faster, and better servers. In corporate, this thing, nobody's afraid of money. So most of the time, the servers are on lease. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
So when they bring in new servers, you have migrations planned out to move to the newer, faster servers. Because like all machines, as you know, they will get old, they will die, just like your old archaic laptops are dying every day.
So I have a question. So far, what we've done here in school is just migrated across the same servers, right?
Yeah, because everything has been Unix. But remember, there was a time when you brought some files from the Windows environment and you did a DOS to what is it? What is it?
DOS to Unix.
DOS to Unix.
What was that?
That was conversion.
It was to convert the script that way.
You are converting the file from a Windows-based file to a Unix-based file.
That's the manual.
I remember, but what exercise was that again?
Manual creation of a database.
Manual database creation, I think. Because you have to execute those scripts. If you try to execute the scripts, it will tell you, I do not know the scripts, this file, because we created them in Windows. But after the conversion, you execute it, it now runs.
Okay.
All of these things are very, very simple, but you are going to have an opportunity to do it with Patrick. I think Patrick comes in for the, what was it? I said the live environment. So he usually will keep things like this and then go out, convert them. What do you convert? What tool do you use to convert the parts?
Arman.
Arman, very good. Theory. All right, I will do performance tuning and high availability next time on Friday. Who asked it there will be a class on Friday? I hope it's
it was Patrick.
Patrick doesn't speak with a woman voice. It was Anita. So at least we'll wait. Let's do the class when Anita will come. We'll send you the notes. You can go and enjoy Friday.
Do we have or we don't have?
We don't have.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
But I'll be here.
Ha!
We don't have, but I'll be there.
What does that mean, sir?
I don't understand.
I mean, we don't have a class, but I'll be in this class teaching.
Teaching who? If we don't have a class?
Don't worry, Ben will be here. You think
No.
Stop playing. So are we having class or no?
I'm telling you, this prophet.
Are you having class or no? No, we are not having a class, but I'll be here teaching.
Teaching who?
Those who will be in the class.
What time?
How can people be in a class when there's no class?
Prof, what time?
6:30.
Okay, copy.
Hi, we're back to 6:30 again. 6:30 to 10.
You want it what?
I'm just asking.
Hey, Anita, chai. You have closed the school. You said the school should close early today. In fact, I'm going to say a resume tomorrow.
No. See, don't mind me, please. Don't mind me. It's just like I feel like we're always changing the time schedule. You know, we need to let people know.
Time changes because of there are different teachers coming, having different programs.
Different problems.
I actually think you guys have had enough of class. If you end it like this.
Your own is too much.
Yeah, we should end it like this.
Different teachers with different problems, right?
and then start your job. You start a job search. When the class behind you comes and goes, then you say, "Oh."
It's not the speed that counts; it's the resistance that counts.
You've been going to college for 4 years and got a degree. What happened?
No job.
Now sit down for 1 year and get something that you are guaranteed a job. If you've basically finished.
Are you talking to me, Prof?
I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to everybody who is anxious to leave.
We left already.
Don't worry. The class is finished. I'll do performance.
So class on Friday.
Yes.
No, you're not clear, sir. You're not clear.
Class is on Friday, 6:30.
Okay.
You need to hear it from Bello. Bello, tell him again.
It's Chair.
Or is Chair who is talking?
It's Chair.
Okay, so what's expected for Friday?
I'm doing performance tuning and high availability and wrap that up. And it will be a short class. So
okay.
Until Natu asks a question, then we'll start the session.
Natu is going to attend the morning class. Natu is attending morning.
You are almost small too. You, the last class, wasn't not your class, it was the Anita class.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kept quiet a little bit. You know?
Was she quiet? She wasn't
I'm
quiet.
a quiet person.
Which quiet person? Prof even said that he's going to meet you and say you're a quiet person.
The bomb of a question. They always have the bomb of a question.
They will give you a question that you go now and start looking. They said, no, she doesn't mean that. She said, no, I mean it. I don't know it. You see, that's trouble there. And now we're fighting the door thing until we not, at least bail us out. All right, folks, please write these questions. You want me to actually give you a pass next week, which means you have finished that one. Then we can, on Friday, then we can jump into the soft skills tool. That one is very straightforward. I give you the questions and I give you the answers immediately, you know, in the same way I'm giving this other answer, but then you know what to say. Then let's jump into other things. All right, but please, I'm giving you this.
Can you send the topics?
The topics?
Yes.
He said not now. Is it now, Renata? You want to kill?
I think those topics, I want you to actually finish this soft skills one and right. Let's finish all these 15 questions for this week. So hopefully I'll give those topics.
By the
I
end
don't
of
want to
next
give
week.
it and then you give it to people, then now nobody does soft skills.
Oh.
So if you can answer all your questions on soft skills, I will just give you the answer for the from questions 2 to 15. You can just, you know, give you expectations on how to answer it, and then you create your own answers. Just as I gave you today the expectation on how to answer, tell me about yourself, right?
Right.
So for those ones, I'll give you like what you guys were debating during the break. Is it the boss or not the boss? Devon says he will stand his ground. Wow.
Get fired.
Devon, when you guys stand your ground?
He's standing his ground somewhere now.
Yeah, that's true. People who look quiet like that, they stand their ground. All right, folks. Thank you. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks a lot, Prof.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Atu,
Yes.
are you not going to stand your ground too?
No, I don't stand my ground. There's a say that says obedient before complaint.
You can manage both of them, both of the two of them. Complain and be obedient, and then you obedient and you're complaining. All right, good night, guys.
Good night.